them, on YouTube and all that. But until you stand in front of it and you feel it, penetrating through your chest and everything, the experience, there's nothing like it. And that's why I put together the Blowin Smoke Rhythm and Blues review. I've had this band out here in California 18 years, and people are amazed that I can, keep an 11-piece band together for that amount of time. And it just follows my philosophy that, if you put a powerful show of great talent, great soul singers and strong horn section, and you put out that energy for the people, it's sort of like the Ike and Tina Turner review in certain respects. And people never get tired of that. Mm-hmm. That's something that I think will be with us forever in music. There's just something about that energy that gets people off. And, we play all the time, and we pack the venues that we play, and, it's a lot of fun. That's why I do it. I do it because I love it.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you a question, because I grew up a little bit later than that, and the world turned away from the blues more into the rock vein. And then in 1979, 1980, something happened. And I'm really interested in your take on this, because something happened that introduced a lot of us youngsters to the Blues Brothers and the Blues Brothers movie. What was your take on that?
Well, this is very interesting. I'm sure you're familiar with Alligator Records out of Chicago, okay, yep. and the band that owns it. And I did a big article recently on Alligator, and we were talking about just what you brought up, the reasons why the blues sometimes gets the opportunity to cross over for a while into the general rock market. And at that particular time, Stevie Ray Vaughan was really one of the perpetuators of being able to take blues music and make it more of a pop music thing for his time, for while he was popular and while he was out there doing his thing. And with his death, things got quiet again. There was a couple of young guitar players like Kenny Wayne Shepherd and someone else out there, and they never quite fulfilled that dream of that big crossover. But I think Gary Clark Jr. right now is making some new waves because he's popular with young rock audiences, and he has taken the blues and he's mixed it with grunge rock and psychedelia and hard rock and blues, and mixing it all together, and yet it still has that bluesy overcast, to its sound. And it's people like Gary Clark Jr. and the Stevie Ray Vaughns who are the ones that can actually take the music and bring it and cross it over to the rock audiences. And Absolutely. When that happens, blues becomes popular again. Not so much the traditional blues, but the bluesy sound, the blues foundation. You can hear it in the music, And then if people are interested, they start to explore. And they go, well, who is Muddy Waters? And who's Howlin' Wolf? And who's John Lee Hooker? Who are these guys, And once they start to listen to their music, they're not going to put it down.
Absolutely. If you look at, like, the song credits on Led Zeppelin's first album, you see Willie Dixon and some of the other names you mentioned, blues are the roots of rock and roll, for sure.
Well, come on, the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
The Rolling Stones' first albums were all blues.
True.
All
Very
blues
true.
songs, and that's what got them together in the first place. They would run, before they were ever popular, they would run down when the imports would come in, into England, from the mail and from the boats, and they would get down there and get the first records that they could get their hands on at the record stores of imported, old blues men, and they would learn from that. And, everybody from Mayall to the Stones, everybody.
Yeah.
It was all of the old American blues artists that did it all.
Absolutely, and it's just so ironic that they took our music, which was falling into disrepair, and they sold it back to us, and then here we are listening to the blues, even if we didn't know we're listening to the blues.
You got it. But in some ways, it was a genre saver because it reboosted the market for blues. And to be honest, at that particular time, some of these blues guys were starting to get old. They were getting up into their 50s right around that time, and they had been poor all their lives. For the very first time, they actually started to make money for the first time in their entire, lifetime. So, there's a lot to be thankful for as far as the English rock musicians are concerned.
Absolutely.
They helped regenerate the blues market in America.
This is true. This is true. And speaking of blues, if you wouldn't mind, can I play that song that we were discussing earlier?
Which one?
You can have my husband, but please don't mess with my man.
Yes, absolutely.
And this one is by Blowin Smoke Band, and I cannot wait for our listeners to hear this and for us to chat about it afterward.
By the way, the lady singing the lead on that is Terry Brinegar, and she is a vocal coach teacher in Florida at one of the universities now.
Ah, that's sweet. You got people all over the place, don't you?
Well, she got married and took off with her new husband, and they lived in She lived in Nashville for quite a while, and was doing teaching, vocal teaching down in Nashville, and then she moved down to Florida, and she just got her MA, her master's, and she's a very dedicated vocalist musician, a great singer.
Well, it'll be a pleasure to listen to her, so I'm going to go ahead and play the song now.
Fire it up.
My man, you can't have my husband, please don't you thank you very much. Thank you, baby.
What an awesome song. And she has that growl in her, too, huh?
You cannot sit still when you're listening to that music. You just got to get up and dance around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike and I do chair dancing.
The other ladies singing at that time, one of them, Carolyn Basley, has passed on.
Aww.
And she was with the original Ike and Tina. She was one of the original Ikeettes with Ike and Tina way back during the heyday. I mean, during the real heyday. And she had diabetes, and it got to her as she got older, and then kind of went downhill from there. And the other girl, Christina Vieira from Boston, Massachusetts, Christina has just recorded something like 21 songs or parts of songs of Janis Joplin's for a movie coming up, hopefully in the next year or two, on Janis Joplin's life. And she did all the songs for the soundtrack for the film.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, so everybody stays active, but I have 3 different lead vocalists at present in Blowin Smoke, and they are all black girls. And Lyrica Garrett, who had come back from Europe recently, right before Ike Turner passed away, she went over with Ike, and they did a 40-city tour. And on the tour was the group Fears for Tears. And they asked Lyrica to sing Woman in Chains with them at each show in each city for the 40 different